Hey guys, welcome. Hope you're having a good day. And this is an important course. And this is an important part of the course, which the research is just kind of exploding on. So I really want to talk about it, which is the body. And I'm going to talk about how the body is affected by trauma. You know, there's a great book at the time of this recording that's sort of sweeping everybody. Everybody's very interested in it. It's a well-written book and well-researched. The Body Keeps Score. By the way, what a great title, The Body Keeps Score. Like whatever happens to you in life, the losses you experience, the accidents you experience, the relational snafus you experience, your body's not just blowing that off, it's keeping score. You can kind of tell. It's like saying, look how many surgery an athlete has, professional athlete has lots of surgeries and scars. You have internal scars too, and the body's telling you. So I want to give you a few ways that we need to integrate body work with dealing with trauma or even our regular clients. Let me start off by the touching thing. I just want to put my position out there. I'm not big on touching. There's just too many things that can go wrong from an intrusion standpoint. For a sexual misunderstanding standpoint, a regression so the person needs touching and can't use words. I believe that we hold them with our words. Now, every now and then I'll give a client a hug in a blue moon for some reason, but it's got to be a really good reason. It's way, way, way the exception, not the norm. We hold them with our words. And what we're doing also neurologically is we're training them how to take verbalizations and hold them and feel comforted by the verbalizations and the thoughts and the feelings people have toward us. God doesn't hold us. He holds us with His words and His Spirit, but we're supposed to become integrated enough that we can use the words and the facial expressions to really help us. So I'm conservative about that, and I want you to be too. The research is indicating that aspects of the body are impacted by trauma, such as, for example, the cells of the immune system. The very cells in your immune system, autoimmune system, can be affected by trauma. They can be, for example, oversensitive to threat. And so when you're going through a situation, maybe there's some pressure. It's not a trauma. Maybe there's a heated argument at work, or maybe there's an argument with your kid or whatever. If you've got untreated trauma and it's in your body, sometimes your body can actually attack its own cells because it's trying to protect against something. It kind of triggers too much. So we're finding this stuff is kind of, we had no idea how the body, to protect itself with untreated trauma, when it has untreated trauma, overreacts. And you might have seen that in other people when you'll say something like, well, I didn't ask for ketchup on my hamburger. Well, what did you do? I give ketchup to everybody. You think, oh, where'd that come from? The body's doing the same thing, it's overreacting. You have body symptoms such as chest tightness and back pain and headaches and pains in weird places and fluttery feelings, nausea, these sorts of things. These are examples of where the body has held onto the trauma. Now, when you're addressing trauma on a treatment level, make sure you ask if there is an area on the body that they do feel an intense situation or intense experience as they process it with you, and ask them to describe it. For example, you're talking already about them how it felt when Dad got drunk and screamed at the kids, and how I was terrified, but I was also angry, but I was also helpless. And what did you think? Well, I thought, well, he's an idiot, but maybe it's my fault and I'm not safe. And then you say, another thing that I started using once the research came in is, what did you feel in your body? Well, I feel like I'm sick, like I'm going to throw up, like the only way I can get out of here is to be sick. Maybe they'll take me to the hospital. And where is that? It's here in my stomach. And now you're helping them. Just the very fact that you're getting them to talk not only about the feelings and about the thoughts, but what the body's saying, they begin to experience, well, first they experience an intensity because they're feeling it again, but then they start to feel some relief because at least I'm not alone with this nausea. My counselor's listening to it, or I'm not alone with this headache that came from the trauma. At least my counselor's listening to it. It's, how I've said so many times, is that a high part of any kind of person's healing is just when the therapist is courageous and skilled enough to just be present with the bad stuff. The being present is a comfort and a relief for us. So that's not everything, but just the fact that you're with them begins to bring them some relief after there's that temporary exacerbation. Now, on another treatment level, or on a treatment level in another piece, is after you've done all this, determine the message that the body is signaling to the person, and then create a mismatching statement that they can hear from you, and then eventually repeat for themselves while they're feeling the body sensation. Okay, so You're working with Sam, and Sam's talking about every time he gets bad news at work or bad financial news, he gets a tight neck. And you begin to find out why you get a tight neck when you get bad financial news or bad work news, because he feels like he's going to lose everything. He's afraid that because he came from a depression era where his parents were like, the wolf was always at the door, that he's going to lose it all. He's going to end up, in a crummy hotel with a hot plate and not be able to feed his kids. And so the neck is symbolizing, I'm constricting you. I'm choking you off from life. I'm choking you off from money. And so you make that interpretation. Say, I think that what your body is trying to tell you is that because you were raised in this deprived environment where everybody's afraid that everybody's going to go broke, now when you have financial stress or work stress, you're afraid it's all going away. And your neck is trying to tell you, I feel choked away from freedom and love and support and all that. And so you give them a mismatching statement, which is something like, and I'll have them sometimes hold on to that part of themselves. I wouldn't do it unless I wouldn't do it very, very, very infrequently. Have them hold on their neck and imagine losing a job or whatever, and saying, my dad was wrong. I've got friends and I've got smartness and I've got a good God. My dad was wrong about this. I've got friends and I've got smartness, I've got a good God. And as they repeat it, they'll have lots of feelings, and sometimes they'll cry, which they need to, and they should start to feel that goes away a bit. And that's what a mismatching experience does, is they start to feel the healthy statements as they're feeling the negative body things. This stuff is powerful, and they'll return to it again and again, and then they won't need you. And that's their whole goal, right? We're trying to work ourselves out of a job. So body trauma is an important thing. Listen to the body, help them listen to it. All right, have a good class.